So my name is Kendell Geers and welcome to Vogelvrij, an exhibition of Capital C with Ron Mando's gallery. So I chose the title Vogelvrij because I was part of an Afrikaans punk protest movement in the late 1980s, singing against the apartheid government in Afrikaans. And Vogelvrij in many ways embodied the idea of freedom for us. How do we express ourselves in the tongue of the oppressor, but at the same time make it a liberation song? And of course apartheid was over, and strangely enough, one of the last presidents of apartheid dies on the same day as the opening of Voëlvry, which is perhaps not coincidence because he said that apartheid was not a crime against humanity. But the question that I ask, and the reason why I bring back Voëlvry as a title, is what does freedom mean today in 2021? What does it mean to be as free as a bird today? Because how can we be free in a time of species extinction when the animals are not free, when the plants are not free, when the earth is not free? How can we speak about human freedom today when nature has been destroyed by us? So we have two neons on the exhibition, and they're both called nature morte, which is the French word for still life. And the reason I choose the French word is because I love the double meaning on dead nature, nature morte. And what you're seeing is, in fact, a very simple situation of flowers that have been folded together like a Rorschach test to create the mirror. And the mirror is this idea of as above, so below, the microcosm and the macrocosm reflect each other. And by putting the flowers together like this, the flowers become a form of a skull. They become, and in this way, I can speak about the classic Dutch tradition of having a skull in the corner of the still life painting. Because I'm deeply inspired by the connection between South Africa and the Netherlands. Because South Africa was a colony in the 17th century when the Dutch East India Company was traveling to fetch the spices and the silk and the silver and all the incredible exotic herbs and spices from the East Indies and bring them back to the Netherlands. And that created enormous wealth. And the consequence of that wealth is people then started to buy works of art. And out of that moment, the still life painting is created. And what the tradition is in fact, it's not unlike Instagram today, because what was being depicted was the wealth of the age. It was like an Instagram image of what people are eating and drinking. And this is how we make a portrait of who we are. But the most important detail is in a still life painting, the flowers are being cut. And what that is embodying, what that is symbolizing, is this idea that the flowers have been deracinated. They've lost their connection to their roots. They've lost the connection to the earth. And for a moment, they're sitting in the vase and they are beautiful to behold. They're beautiful to look at. But in fact, they're dying. And it's a warning that we can't take our wealth with us. We can't take our materialism with us. And so the still life painting then expresses, perhaps better than any other art tradition today, the moment we find ourselves in with climate change, with global warming. Because we're at that very, very vital moment where we know we have to draw back the temperature of the planet by 2 degrees. Otherwise, we have catastrophe. Otherwise, we're going to end up in an ecological meltdown with species extinction, probably even our own species going extinct. And so the still life painting is a way to speak about nature. It's a way to speak about art history and about tradition, and a way to speak about the risks of climate change. And that's why I paint in the paintings or in the neons, the center is red, like bullet holes or like wounds. They're wounds like the COVID virus, and they're wounds like being shot with a gun, bleeding. And so it's about a healing process, and healing only starts within. Healing begins in our body, where we can transform our fleur de mal, we can transform our flowers of pain and suffering into something of beauty. So I leave you with the final, or perhaps the first work on the exhibition, depending on how you arrive, called Manifest, which asks the question, what do you believe in? But I ask the question knowing very well that the word believe has the word lie in the middle. How much of what we believe in is a lie?